Bienvenidos todos. Este es ¿Qué onda, Juan? Yo soy Juan Mendoza, your host, coming at you from Vera Project in downtown Seattle. With me today is the Pacific. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hey guys, how y'all doing?
So good. So
Yeah.
happy to be here.
So happy to be here.
For sure, for sure. All right, I got a hold of you guys through Maso, who introduced me to your song, actually, which is my favorite song, Cumbia del Oso.
Oh.
And so he sent me out the link, and he was like, hey, check him out. I was like, I got to interview him. I just got to. So now we made this all happen. Hell yeah.
Thanks, Marcel.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. So what inspired you guys to do music?
Ooh, my sister inspired me. She started singing and in musical theater when she was like 10. She was Annie and just ruled the stage. And so I just wanted to be just like her.
Shit, gotcha.
Yeah. For me, it was kind of a random circumstances, a random series of events where I was just a group of friends. I was 13 years old and they needed a bass player in a band, and I didn't really even know how to play, but they just wanted me to try it. And so I didn't have kind of the traditional, work real hard to learn an instrument before playing.
Yeah.
It was like I was just in a band, and so it actually made it really fun to learn music and start that way. And that, I was 13 years old picking up a bass, and I've been playing ever since. So it's been a long journey, but yeah, it's and just being surrounded by music growing up too.
Gotcha. And you said surrounded by music growing up. Like, what kind of music?
So my dad had a real extensive collection of reggae music and African music, actually. And I think he got on one of those like subscriber to world music, they send you a CD every week kind of thing. And
Gotcha.
and so I just went through those records, and so that was a big influence on me. And then Led Zeppelin and classic rock and things like that also was a big part of my growing up. And I know Alex has kind of a different story than me.
So I, really enjoyed R&B. I grew up in the 90s, and so 90s R&B has my heart. And just kind of moved into neo soul, and meanwhile, just discovering Cuban music. And in college, I was in LA, and they had a station called Latino 96.3, and I loved listening to that, and just kind of drawing influences from here and there, and really love music that makes me move. And so one of the things that we love to do is get other people moving too.
Yeah. And I have to pay homage to a group of people. I lived in Spain for 6 years and studied flamenco and Latin music. And so that was like a big, learning experience for me, diving into the world of flamenco. And I got to study with some really great teachers out there and tour around with some great bands. So that definitely helped form some of the music you'll hear today.
Oh, okay. So, like, would you say that flamenco is like your like number one thing favorite to dance, or?
No, I mean, I feel like I've just kind of scratched the surface on flamenco in terms of what you need to study to be really good at it. But but I feel like really Caribbean music in general, tropical, just that vibe is making people move. That's kind of what our goal is, definitely on the stage. And normally, under normal circumstances, we have an 8-piece band. Today we're going to play as a trio, but we like to, when there's 8 people on stage that are moving, that generally can get other people up and grooving too.
Yeah, for sure. Like your guys' cumbia that you made, Cumbia del Oso, I feel like if that's just a song that's just played in a large group of people, like, you just gotta dance.
It's infectious.
It's cumbia. Like, how are you gonna sit down to that? Exactly. And so when I was watching that specific music video, I realized that like there's no other music video kind of like it almost, because it was like I didn't even realize it was puppets until like the third time I watched it. I was like, that's a hand, I'm pretty sure. But like, where did that idea even come from? Like using like puppets as a music video.
Yeah, well, we kind of started out thinking that we wanted to go for an animated video. With the story is about somebody learning how to dance from bears in the woods.
Yeah.
And so, that kind of conjured up psychedelic and, really imaginative imagery. And then
yeah. So my nephew is a filmmaker. One of our other songs, Rain, he did our music video for that as well.
Oh.
And he and his girlfriend Kirsten were in town, and they're in film school out in Toronto. And so we mentioned this idea of an animated video to them, and they said, "Oh yeah, we know the perfect person. We'll hook you up," and it's great. And then the next morning they called us and they said, "We've been listening to the song and we want to do it, but we want to do it with puppets." And we thought, great, let's see. That sounds amazing. We have no idea what that's going to be like.
Yeah.
And then they put together a crew of like 18, 20 people, and I mean, you saw it in the video. It's an amazingly produced. They worked really hard. They did so much research to make it. They used the forest in the video is based off of the Olympic National Forest, and the bears, the color, the fur, and just the type of bear that they used as the model is a bear from Latin America. It's like in Central America. It's the only bear that's left, and so it was just kind of, they did all this research and kind of made it combining the Northwest and
a Japanese style of puppetry.
Style puppetry
with a mix of cumbia just right in the middle.
It's a very global music video.
That's cool.
For sure.
I didn't even know that. That's dope.
Yeah.
I like the forest and like the bear mixed combo and stuff like that. So the same people that made the music video for Rain made
the same director.
Same director.
Same director, yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen when you said that, I was like, those are very two different different types of music videos.
Yeah.
And then touching on the topic of music videos, when you filmed Heat, was that here in Seattle?
It was, yeah.
Oh,
it
okay,
was at the Ballard CrossFit gym, and right on 15th and 65th, kitty corner from Ballard High School.
That's dope.
There's a CrossFit gym there, yeah.
Because like when in the part of the music video when you're outside like on the garage doors, I was like, I'm getting Seattle vibes.
Yeah,
like, that was filthy.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was an old garage, right, for a
like
mechanic
a
shop.
Mechanic.
And they converted it into a gym, and Alex was a member of the gym, and we were looking for a location, and they hooked it up. They just let us use the location for the day, and
and the main dancers in that video, they have since launched a burlesque production company, entertainment company called Simone Pin. And so it's been really cool to get to collaborate with them and support them as they've gone on too.
Yeah, that was my second question actually. Like, because I noticed there was like a bunch of dancers in the background. Like they're from Seattle too.
Yeah, a lot of those were just friends, musicians from the band.
They're band members.
A lot of, but and then the main choreographers and dancers are from Simone Pin and Takia Ward, who Taquitz. She's an amazing artist that is doing big things in Seattle right now as well.
Yeah, AKA T-Dub Customs.
That's dope. And all right, so moving into like more like personal questions. How long have y'all known each other?
Gosh, is it 7 years now?
Yeah, maybe even longer.
Maybe more.
Yeah, we met in a '90s hip hop and R&B cover band.
I told you it has my heart.
Yeah, and it's kind of a funny story because I was in the band and the guitar player came and said, "Oh man, we got to have a singer that sings all the hooks, the R&B hooks on all these old '90s cuts." And I was really skeptical because I was like, "Man, they got to be really good because they got to be able to sing all the different voices, the different parts for all these different samples and all these different things." And so, I was looking at it with skepticism. And then Alex showed up to do the rehearsal, and he called out the song, which was Thuggish Ruggish Bone by Bone Thugs and Harmony. And I thought, man, if she can sing this one, then we're good. And she just killed it. And it was like she was the best part of the band after that. And then we started collaborating. I had a band called the Jefferson Rose Band. I had a bunch of instrumentals, but I started writing some songs with lyrics and invited Alex to sing on a couple tunes, and it just kind of clicked with the rest of the band. And then she became the singer of that band. And yeah, and then we started writing music together. Well, we got married and then started writing music together, and it felt weird to call it me when we were collaborating on
like
stuff.
both of you were working.
Yeah, since and so we came up with the name the Pacific, which is kind of, since we're both from the West Coast and I'm from Seattle and Alex from California. I don't know if you have anything to add to the story, but
yeah, I guess what to add. Yeah, the Pacific. So our name, like Jefferson said, is a reflection of us being rooted in the West Coast, and really just feeling the coastal vibes and putting a twist on the name to Pazific, to kind of hint at the fact that we do bilingual music in English and Spanish, and so we're the Pacific.
Yeah. So that's I was gonna say, like, that's pretty dope. Like, both from West Coast, so that makes sense. Pacific, yeah. But outside of like just like filming your music videos here and like tying a little bits of your music to not only the Northwest but like Central America, and then with the cumbia mix, like, where do you want like this, like the Pacific, to like go ultimately? Like what's like the ultimate like goal for you guys?
Well, I think, selfishly, this singing in English and Spanish is a way for me to connect to my heritage. So my mom's family is from Michoacan, Mexico.
Hey.
And that part of my identity has been just so central to who I am. And so getting to connect to my culture through music and to, the Latinx community through music is really something that that feels really good, and that we want to use music to help make real. Yeah. So connecting with people, I think, is huge. We've had some made some connections to like a radio station in Puerto Vallarta, and have connected with people through social media in different parts of Latin America, and so strengthening those connections, I would say, is a good is a goal of ours.
Yeah, and a big part of, I think, the development of our writing together has been traveling. So we've gone out to New York City, gone out over to Europe on tour, but it's really hard to tour with a big band that way. So what we've done is flown to those places and hired local musicians, and been really open to adapting our sound to whatever instrumentation that we could get together in those moments. So I think a short-term, long-term goal is really to travel and bring this music, bring the party around the world.
Hell yeah. So when you say that, like, that you hire like local musicians where you go, is that how like you guys create, like, for example, like you have a cumbia, then you have like Rain that's just a completely different tone, and then it's like He that's just like a whole different genre? Is that like how you guys get those ideas to like make a cumbia, make what other Rain was, make what He was? Like, that's how you guys get the different styles?
Yeah.
It definitely influences it for sure.
Yeah. And also, I think it's a quality of our music, but it's also a challenge sometimes to figure out how to talk about ourselves, because we play all these different genres that, our main, goal is really, people connecting from different cultures, different areas, and being able to enjoy music together, and so we want to be like, cast a wide net, I guess, in terms of who we're trying to connect with, but also, we are very selective in terms of the musicians we play with. We want to have a really, badass, high quality music.
Yeah, for sure.
And make sure that that on stage, and that we're presenting. I think a lot of times these days there's not as much of a focus on entertaining the audience. It's more like, this is my music, you can like it or not. But for us, we really want to connect with the audience and make it feel like we're all family here. Let's enjoy this and have a party together.
Yeah. Okay. So when you when you do your performances, for example, the one that happened in Pike Place and the one at Northwest Folk Life, like when you're at those events, out in the live, anybody can come watch. How do you like incorporate connecting with the audience, but also like connecting with your roots?
Well, I think it's a feeling, right? It's spirit based. It comes from the soul, and so that connection, it when it happens. And I think just like I've seen people recognize some of the covers that we do. Not every audience, knows a Julieta Venegas song or a Macaco song. And so when you see somebody in the crowd who's singing along and just dancing their ass off, that's a connection right there. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I think, in those circumstances, we try to do things like get people clapping together or get people stomping together or, try to have an interactive experience so people feel they're not just observers, but they're actually part of the experience.
Yeah. I mean, hell, if you play Cumbia del Sol, I'm gonna get up. I'm getting up. I don't know about everybody else, but like that's gonna.
We'll put you on the guest list for whenever we are.
Say less.
Whenever there's a guest list again.
And so when you performed at Northwest Folk Live, when you performed, what was the song that you performed live? I think it was the third video on YouTube.
There's a couple. ¿Sabes qué?
Yeah, ¿Sabes qué? That one.
The Fremont Abbey.
Yeah. So out of those like 3 performances live that you've done, like what's your favorite one and why? And if there's a different answer, then let's talk about both.
Oh my gosh, those are some highlights right there. Getting to be part of the grand opening of the market expansion and getting to play folk life in the gathering space at KEXP and getting to play a packed room at Fremont Abbey, just full of life. Like those are some highlights. It's hard to choose.
For me, the Fremont Abbey one, I all of them are great, but the Fremont Abbey one is special because Alex is pregnant with our son. So, and that was kind of, just a special moment because, he was in there dancing around too. But I think
the KEXP one or
the folk life
one
at KEXP. Yeah, she's pregnant for that one too. But, I think, the one at the gathering space, just because is also just a really fond memory because of the significance of playing on that stage in that room. Just right up the street here.
Yeah, exactly, I was about to say.
And DJ Chili has been really supportive over the years too, and so of El Sonido, the program on KEXP, and so. And Derek Mazzoni too has he actually curated that stage for folk life, and so we were really honored to be chosen to be part of it.
Yeah. So folk life here, you still can't choose. You're like number one.
This is like the worst, man. I'm the worst at choosing. Like if somebody says choose your favorite flavor of ice cream, I'm just like frozen. I just can't. How many scoops do I get?
Actually, I have a different favorite one that isn't any of those, and it was just recently came. How sometimes on social media they'll say 3 years ago this happened.
Yeah, like a reminder. And
a reminder. Yeah. So this video popped up. We were on tour out in Europe in Badalucco, Italy, and we were playing in this little plaza. It's like, a church from the 1600s is behind us. We're in this plaza full of people. Everyone's dancing. That's one of my fondest memories of being on stage with Alex and playing our music. And just people there were just getting down, and most people didn't speak Spanish or English. We were in Italy, and so it wasn't about the language. It was just about the music and connecting, and just that was really powerful. That's probably one of my favorite moments.
So you mentioned like performing in Italy, how you loved it. What other countries have you played in besides like U.S. and Italy?
Spain, Andorra, which is a little country between Spain and France.
It's this big.
That was a pretty amazing show too. Menorca, which is in Spain, a Spanish island in the Mediterranean. We did a little tour out there with our friend Diego Paque. So those are the different countries. We just were down in Mexico, Zihuatanejo in February, and connected with some musicians down there. And we're scheming to get back down there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
So, Mexico, maybe Central America in the future, South America.
Oh man, please. All of those things. Yeah. I lived in Nicaragua in Central America, and got some just family down there that, if we ever had the opportunity to get down there, it would be really powerful. We have people, I've friends down in Argentina, and I'd love to get down to South America too. And it would be amazing to connect with, again, local musicians down there, and just bring as many of our band members as we could, of course, from Seattle. But just that experience of kind of connecting with the local scene and the local players is always really, really powerful.
So you want to play in Nicaragua, and like, what's like another, I don't know, like the top 3 countries that you haven't gone to yet, but you like want to go and perform?
Oh my gosh.
And it's top 3, so like you can choose to say which ones.
Oh man,
Mexico for sure.
Yeah, Mexico. Goodness gracious. I mean, through Chon, maybe Senegal.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Probably just like stick to the warm places. Like I'm not trying to go to Iceland to. I mean, I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, Mexico, Senegal would be amazing, and gosh, I would love to get to Nicaragua as well. I know that I haven't been there in years, and I just have family down there that I'd love to really
you
reconnect
just miss it.
with. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. All right, and just a wrapping up question. So you mentioned your son. How old is he again?
He's almost 2.
Yeah, about to be 2. Yeah.
Does he have a favorite song for you guys yet, or?
He loves La Cumbia del Oso. He loves it.
Yeah, it's the best.
So he was in the womb when we wrote that song. He was in the studio when we recorded that song.
He was on stage for the several shows leading up to that.
Yeah, so he's probably heard that song more than any song he's heard in his life. And every time it comes on, he just perks up and loves it. So yeah.
And do you guys want for him to pursue music as well?
He's already pursuing it.
Yeah.
We have a drum set in our.
He made his mind up.
He's a drummer. Yeah, he's his favorite toy at our house is the drum set. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that'll be all for today. My name is Juan Mendoza, coming at you through GZ Radio at the VR Project in Seattle. This is Onda Juan, and with me today was the Pacific. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much, Juan.